said, not having much fun in 9.1. Korthia is Torghast the Outdoor. Mythic Plus is Torghast boss affix. Torghast 9.1 is not just a chore, but a torture as well. Sanctum of Domination is Torghast the Raid. With so many pure arcade mechanics and fighting with RNG, I feel like I'm playing Touhou, not WoW. I feel like Eugene is not a fan of Torghast from this question.
I don't think
Mild
so.
and clean.
I don't think so. Well, I'm going to say I'm going to take personal offense. Touhou's a way more fun series of games to play than World of Warcraft, just in general. Like, what they have is, what Touhou has is Zun designs. So whenever there's spell cards and bullet patterns, they're designed and they're paced. Also, Zun as a sole composer, even though the actual sound he uses is a little bit shit, Zun by himself as a composer, never mind the fact he's also made all of the games, largely, could absolutely dance circles around anyone Blizzard's ever had as a composer. Which is a bit of a statement given the difference, but yeah.
You do have a little bit of a bias towards
I have a little bit of a bias because Touhou music's some of the
smidge,
best shit that ever existed on this goddamn planet.
Tiny bias towards it.
Yeah.
Tiny.
I will cut you. I will make one concession.
Oh.
Man can't draw for shit.
Oh, cool.
He's been trying for like 30 years. Can't draw for shit.
Well, I've got Touhou Luna Nights on my Xbox because of Game Pass, but that is all I have.
It's also not even a Touhou game. Well,
Yep.
it is, but it's not.
It is, but it's not like actually. Yeah.
It's a Metroidvania. It's sweet.
Indeed. Oh man, so yeah, bad time for Eugene. I think that's just one of those things where, you know, you release a feature and you kind of set people against that feature, and then they'll see like echoes of it anywhere else if they're thematically similar, and they'll be sad. I mean, I'll say I don't have that problem. I don't go into Sanctum of Domination like, oh, it's Torghast the Raid. Like, I really do, you know, most of the bosses in Sanctum of Domination I enjoyed, for sure. Maybe not Sylvanas, not a good encounter. At least in normal. We'll see what heroic's like.
I'd love to know exactly like what hamster was running. And I think it was Ian said when he said it was the most epic encounter they ever made. Someone in the dev team said that in some interview. And I'm looking at
questionable statement.
And I'm looking at the fight now and going, Jesus Christ. Like, what, could you ever tell the truth?
Phase
like,
2.
Jesus.
What's phase 2? You know, at least like phase 1 is just, oh, look, hey, a bunch of stuff's moving and I have to move around. It's not, you know, great. And like at least phase 3 has got like some, you know, tightness in it. Just because of the DPS check and, you know, you're physically running out of space. But for me, it's just phase 2 is too much of a drag.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to do that. I'd love to just sit down for 30 minutes and talk about why phase 1's actually dog shit. Not fundamentally, but in terms of execution of the dodges, it's so grim. But I would take 30 minutes to explain that. And I would need to go off and draw a ton of diagrams and get a load of different footage from different games about different mechanics to try and figure out exactly why it's not satisfying to play versus something else.
Bit of context for everyone. Matt plays many, many, many games with big boss fights.
Yep.
That is a player of character action games and many similar things. So I think, you know, different experience when it comes to like boss fights and like just traditional WoW. But certainly, I mean, for Sylvanas phase 1, it's like, it's a bit jank when you're attacking her and she's like here, but then her animation is just, she's jumping around the place. Yeah, it does have a few little awkward things. I like phase 3 the most. It's like with the Denathrius. I really like the Denathrius. For me, it's like phase 1 was bad. Or it's just like, ugh. But phase 2 was like pretty good and phase 3 was like incredible. I loved Denathrius phase 3. Yeah, I feel like Sylvanas is just a bit of a meh as far as the bosses go.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like now that Fate Scribe has been working for us fine, I enjoy Fate Scribe. And I enjoy Guardian the first ones a lot just because it's like, it's a cool theme. The voice acting's cool. And like, I don't know, I just enjoy the fight. And almost everything before that, I enjoy a lot. And you know, I've enjoyed doing Tower Grew and, you know, the first 3 bosses on Heroic. Yeah, with our progression. Like, that's all been really fun. I think it's just Sylvanas a little bit of a pity.
Yeah, I'll sort of explain some of my thinking because, you know, it kind of comes across like I'm overtly negative all the time, which I sort of am, but also that's...
Yeah, it may just be.
Yeah, so that's how I tend to be when it comes to things that I'm not super satisfied by. I'm not usually one to look and say, but it does this right. I like to look and go, no, this could be better. Like, small changes could make this experientially feel better. Like, as an example, when Sylvanas is doing her Windrunner and jumping around the place, but you're sitting hitting where she originally was. That's a cool concession to make. But if you wanted to make that feel like she's actually doing that, because I'm healing, I'm looking at unit frames and I'm looking at my character's feet. Like I'm not really paying all that much attention to any of that. But the way you could make that feel significantly better, because I don't even notice that she's hopping around the place basically. But if I couldn't hit her, then I would notice she's running around the place. Which means, why is there not a part of that phase where, even if you where we can't hit her while she's doing that, because she's actually evading everything, right? We can't hit her. She's darting around like crazy. We can't actually target her. She's just firing shit at us, and there's nothing we can do about it. You've got two options. One is give us ads to fight in the meantime. Not ads like ads, just anything to fight. Which means if she dropped a bunch of chains of domination, or a bunch of chains were coming in that we had to destroy before they closed us in, that would make that feel cool. Or even if it was just no damage, just dodge. Stuff like that. Kind of like how, it would feel somewhat similar to Painsmith in a way. But that would make her mechanic of Windrunner feel satisfying instead of just not paying any attention. Because it matters in gameplay. And because it matters in gameplay, then it matters what she's physically doing.
Yeah.
And that's one of those small things that I think about when I'm in a raid or I'm watching it go out, and I'm like, you've just made a mechanic not experiential because you haven't, it's a thing where I would love to see what they can do if they would make the concession and go, fuck it, we're not making 10 bosses the next raid, we're making 4, but they're the best 4 bosses we've ever done in our lives. I'd love to see that, because I can't help but feel like they have to cut stuff real short, because I know they're working on a time budget.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see what they could do, because I think they are great encounter designers.
Yeah.
Knowing what they did with Painsmith in such a simple arena, such a simple set of mechanics, I'm really looking forward to that on Heroic, even though it's going to destroy us, because I think it's really cool.
It's going to mess us up.
So
it's going to be fun.
And so I would love to see what that raid would look like if they went, it's Taragru, but we fully made it. It's Ner'zhul. It's, I suppose Soul Render to be in there. Okay, fuck it. No Ner'zhul, Soul Render. So you've got Taragru, Soul Render, Painsmith for flavor, Kel'Thuzad, and Sylvanas. I'd love to see what that raid would be like. Just in terms of what the quality would be like over the quantity of the 10 bosses. I'd love to see that.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I'm down for the experiment.
Yeah.